Welcome to a brand new podcast. New day, new beginning as always. Guys, always stay focused, keep grinding. It's tough in these streets, so you gotta maintain your focus. Thank you for your continued support. And again, if you want to donate to the podcast, we're on all major platforms, the Oracle 19, so you will find us again on Anchor.fm, Google, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, just to name a few. And you can go to those major platforms and send your support there, especially on Anchor.fm. And also you can do PayPal. Our email address is evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. And also for business and sponsorship questions or inquiries, you can send the email out to same email, I should say, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. So again, thank you for your guys' continued support, and the ones not, send a little free will offering. Support the machine. And also, you can shop online to our baby shopping mall, which is evolutionoflondon.com. Again, that's our baby shopping mall, a wide range of products we have there. Clothes, men's, ladies, kids' clothes, jewelry as well. So that's www.evolutionoflondon.com. Also, www.evolutionoflondon.org. There we have from a range of custom clothing, accessories, and a few digital products there as well. So that's evolutionoflondon.org. Our ebooks and software website is royalty9.gumroad.com. So again, that's royalty9.gumroad.com. So check us out as well. Music by Cheap Limousine and Cheap Limousine channel, which is on YouTube. You go to his channel, you will find all his social media sites, wide range of different beats as well. So definitely support his machine as well. Cheap Limousine channel. Speaking about YouTube, our two channels, I need your guys to support the channel and check it out. The first one is Greatness 19 channel, and we have a wide range of educational videos, so definitely check us out there. And Mr. Evolution of London, our health and wellness channel. We have, again, a lot of different videos on health and wellness, which we post on a weekly basis as well. So like and subscribe, support those channels, and check the description box of both of those channels. And there is links that you can check out to support the channel. Also, we have multiraffles.com, and that's multiraffles.com, and it's not a charity. They are a web-based platform provider that helps nonprofits raise money using raffles. The company is looking for multi-affiliate business partners throughout North America to help them sign up nonprofits who would be interested in using their web-based fundraising raffle tool. Affiliates will not be soliciting companies for money. Revenue will be generated by the nonprofit organizations, individual fundraising teams, and other means of marketing. And all the information is in the website as well to check out. And that's multi. That's multiraffles.com. And you can contact Jeff at affiliatesforgood@gmail.com. Once again, that's affiliatesforgood@gmail.com. And also, need you, of course, to support Mr. Will. He's a fitness consultant for over 15 years, and you can email him at williesfitness99@gmail.com. So that's Willies, WILLYZ, fitness99@gmail.com. And his website as well, definitely support him. It's www.wjaccessories.com. So again, that's www.wjaccessories.com. Definitely support that. We have a PayPal, we have a Patreon channel, excuse me, our Patreon channel, which we already put exclusive videos that we wouldn't put on YouTube, and that's www.patreon.com/evolution of London. So check us out there. We also have links if you want to donate to our channel or GoFundMe page. All of that information is in the description box as well. And definitely check out Zoe Williams, his website, www.iamzoewilliams.com. Self-published author, relationship coach, and radio personality. So you definitely check out his program. He's definitely informative, no question about it. I learned a lot from his channel as well. Very intelligent guy. All the information, rest of the information, you will find in our description box, so definitely check that out. And here we go. Today we're going to talk about the dating world. Yes, the dating world. And it's just, every era, they will always say, in my day, such and such and such. You'll hear that a lot from the older folks, They was young before, and now they're older, and they saying those same information. But it does hold true. Every generation, it seems like, as time goes along, the dating world is different. I would say, I know my foreparents, they used to tell me about my era. I know my uncle used to tell me he felt sorry for my generation. And he used to say that a lot. And I understand why. And I know the generation after me, the dating pool is definitely trash. It was, I'm thinking about my generation. Again, there was good and bad as well. But again, there wasn't as very interesting word, hostile. Everything is magnified. And I guess because now you have social media, social media is kicking in. I mean, you can take a picture of a person and upload it and download it and all this stuff within seconds. And your face could be shown all throughout the world. Where previous eras, they didn't have social media and Big Brother cameras wasn't heavy as it is now. And the laws are different. Your Me Too movement, as an example, the feminist movement gotten way over the top, where men can't say certain things, and if they do just say certain things that in 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that wasn't offensive, it's definitely offensive now, and it's taken way over the top. Now, I'm gonna get into that. Actually, I'm gonna get into those examples. Now, I know, and my mother and I was joking about it. You know, and at a certain point in time, when you're going out and you was dating, when you first meet and greet a woman, and we talk about yesteryears. There's a word in the South they call, and I'm gonna say it in this type of slang, courting. You was courting the female. What I mean by courting the female is you meet her, let's say in public location, supermarket, whatever, y'all talk, chop it up. And then you had to go and meet, if you was going on a date, you had to pick her up from her house. And their dad and mom was there, siblings was around. So you entered the door, and the parents, they grill you. So where you going? With my daughter. How long you gonna be? I need her back, if she's a teenage girl, like let's say 17, 16. I need her back at this house by 11 o'clock sharp. Not 11:01, not 11:02. 11 o'clock sharp. The siblings will look at you up and down, make little comments about you as a male, picking up their sister. The mother will look at you from head to toe, see how clean you are, see if your shoes is shine or the sneakers is clean. The father will definitely implement those rules 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. And y'all went out on a date. Okay, everything was smooth from that point. Y'all left out the location, her house. You watch a movie. It's a Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. You'll get something to eat. Maybe at a local restaurant, something light. Then you go to the movies. And then you enjoy a movie. The movie usually was like 3 hours. And then after that, let's say, for example, movie starts at 8 o'clock, or let's say 7 o'clock, and it finishes at 10:05. And then either maybe y'all sit, y'all talk about the movie, or go out to a quick dinner from 10 to like 10:30. Or you might do a lunch before or an evening little brunch or dinner, 5 to 7. However y'all guys shaped it. Just giving y'all guys examples. But make sure that man knows, that young man knows, at 10:45, he better be having that woman, that young lady, on their way back to her house. That's how it was. And that was usually the first date. And then the second date would be maybe a gathering, walk in the park, day or evening, talk, hold hands, so forth. And then, you go further from that point. That was the days of what I call courting. Courting. But see, things change now. Things is different now. Certain things you can even say, let's say, for example, And I'm saying back in the days. You can make little phrases, hey, I like you, baby girl, you got a nice, cute shape, or something of that nature. Or ask for a hug. Not saying you're feeling her behind or anything, but just a regular hug. Back in the days, guys was hugging females all the time in the era of courting. I mean, it was mutual understanding with a lot of things. With just a mutual understanding. Things was a little bit more relaxed. More structure in the dating world. Whether it was the eras in the early 1900s leading to the 1970s and a little bit of the 80s. Also, I would mention, which I forgot to mention, it was dressing. Dressing. You talk about the yesteryears leading up to now. It was a respect factor. Men is dressed up on a date. They're going to put on their best, whether it's a dress shirt, slacks, shoes. And we speaking of the early 1900s leading to the 60s and 70s. Men will bring flowers, to the date, to the woman. Again, I have to add on those things in the days of when you're going out, you're dating. And again, we're speaking in the early 1900s, leading to the 60s and 70s. Our great grandparents, and mom and dad will explain about these times. And again, the woman, the young lady, will present herself in a fashionable manner going out on the date. So there was respectability, not only for her, but also trying to put her best forward on the date. Goes both ways. This was the era. Just for all my younger listeners, this was something, a structure, what I call back in the days. Google different eras and look at how people dressed back in the days. Okay? So it was more structure. Young man, young girl, going out on a date. And things was different. But now, in the dating world, things got what y'all guys will know as turned up. There's no structure nowadays. Young men back in the days would pay for the movies and so forth. And again, it was structure. I know you ladies listen to this, you like that story. Sounds good, sounds delicious. I know. But now, in the dating world, there is chaos. No structure. Do whatever you want. See whatever, do whatever, say whatever. And it became very dangerous, I would say, for young men out here. Because the words, first of all, let's even before we get to that part. Nowadays, when you meet a man, a young girl, a young guy meets, there's no structure where the word courting comes in play. It's no going to the movies. It's no going to a restaurant and putting your best foot forward. There's even dressing men and women, young girls and boys, there's no style, no true style. You might see a guy, he's got tattoos on his face, gold in his mouth, just no education. And we're not talking about no, you have to go to school for higher learning, but just being able to speak, to be able to present yourself in an intelligent way when you're meeting that female. Putting your best foot forward. Bringing something mentally to the table to be worthy to go out on a date with a woman or a young girl. It's just wild. These are just little examples to many examples that y'all guys can add on. I know, I get it. I can speak on this for hours, but I'm just trying to condense the conversation so you just walk with me. Now, that's just phase one. The young lady don't know how to dress, don't know how to act, don't know how to carry herself neither. The question is, why? That's because there's no structure on both parties. Young men is not taught the structures of going out on a date. And ladies don't know the structures as well. Because there's no parents. If the parents are around, they don't know how to, they don't pass that information on to the younger generation because a lot of times they are undisciplined. So there's no structure in terms of meet and greet. If a young man goes to a girl's house, if he does, father might not be around. And if he is around, he might be a weak man that just like do as you will type of man, whatever, because the woman rules the house. Or like I said, he's not there, period. So now you got a single mom. And she has a mentality a lot of times where she wants to be a teenager. And she presents a mentality to the young girl. You don't have to even talk to a guy. You don't have to respect him, You don't have to respect him. So she's already feeding that young teenager that ideology. So there's no, and plus, again, there's no structure going on now. So going to the movie, sitting down to really get to know a person is not even in the picture anymore. You just see a person in the streets, and it's all about liquor and weed, frivolous stuff, and social media, talk online, and then you end up sleeping with that person. Because let's be for real, ladies, it's easy to sleep with y'all. If you don't believe it, it's not hard. It's not hard. A lot of guys can vouch for that. Believe me, nowadays, guys, if you meet a girl, let's say on a Monday, you basically by the end of the week, the max, you already be sleeping with her. By the end of the week. That's how fast it is right now. And a lot of females, you can sleep with them in a day. And nowadays, the mentality is by the next day, if you didn't sleep with her by the next day, something is wrong. But on the average, I'm going to say by a week. My opinion. It's no months. No. It's not like 6 months. That's like dinosaur years. It's like a week. Cheap liquor and weed get you over the hump with a female. Young girls nowadays. And the conversations it's not really a lot of dating, going out. It's more like online, FaceTiming. It's my opinion. So sleeping with a woman is easy. I mean, easy. It's so many ways you can go around this. So, it is what it is. A lot of these females, young girls, have a very ratchet mentality. It's not about the way they dress only, because it seems like most females dressing the same. Everyone is wearing tights, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, showing their imprint of their body parts. So there's nothing new with these females that you see. 90% you see the females walking down the street is wearing tights, winter or summer, showing their body parts. But when you look, they will get mad. But you coming out here sloppy. And young men, I would say, young men, you can't be paying for a female that has a ratchet mentality or a dress code that looks like a whore. Yes, I said it, like looking like a whore. Because nowadays, a bona fide hoe, prostitute in the streets, there's no difference than the prostitute in the streets nowadays to the ones that is dressing every day. The style of dressing is very similar. Especially if you go to the club, the style of dress with how the females dress now is on par with the hoes, bona fide hoes walking down the street and just selling it. So my point is, why would young men, and a lot of females expect a guy to take them out and spend, hundreds of dollars on them, taking them to the fine restaurants, and you dressing like a hoe and you have a mentality like a hood rat mentality. It's not a color thing. It's a mentality. Because you could be a hood rat from Iowa, a white girl from Iowa. They call them white trash. You could be a hood rat from China, India, because if you look at their ghettos and you Google their ghettos, far worse than in America's. So I just want to add that little caveat to that. Now, the dating world for men, young men, why would you spend? Young men, I'm going to tell you, do not spend money, hundreds of dollars, courting in this era. Don't do it. Please don't do it. It's a waste of time. Because you spending all of this money, that's what I would teach my son, is don't spend on these Jezebels. You spending hundreds of dollars and they have that mentality. It's a bad investment. I don't give a damn what these women say, but men, young men, don't do it. I'm going to tell you what you should do, my opinion. And listen up for you young men. And older men, make sure you let your sons know this too and pass the word and let them hear this. Don't let them hear this. Tell them. When you taking young lady out for the first time, and you're a teenager or your early 20s, you know the first place I will take a female? And no matter what age, because a lot of times we not even talking about now the older women, their 30s and 40s, they act like children too. They act like they think they're 16 years old. But that's a whole different story. We're going to deal with the younger crowd, 17 and 25, around that time frame, that era, or that the age range. The age range. Age range basically, we'll say 18 to, let's say, 30. Let's keep that simple. First date, will either be to Starbucks. Yeah, I said that. Starbucks. I wouldn't be taking them to no restaurant, spending hundreds of dollars, and this female just get her belly full and just say thank you. If you really want to get to know a person, you take them to Starbucks. Men. And I even will extend that to any age. If she don't appreciate the Starbucks meet and greet, then she's not your woman anyway. And then you cut your losses. I wouldn't spend no more than $10 on that date. Yes, I said $10 on that date. That's for a cup of tea or coffee for her. And if she's extra thirsty, maybe 2. And I wouldn't spend a goddamn thing on myself unless I wanted to, because there's no need. Hot tea will last, before it cools off, is a good hour of conversation. You get to know her. That's the problem, young men. Get to know that female. You got to get real deep. Questions to ask. You know, do you have a father? And what's your mother like? What's your family like? You got to get real deep. And then her siblings. And the history of her. What is her goals? What is her ambitions? Have she been traumatized? I mean, you don't right off the sit down and say, hey, have you been raped? No, come on. No, I mean, feel the conversation out. It can't be simple. But the point is probing questions. You got to police these females. Their mental, their goals, what they're doing now. Do they have a feministic mentality? There's ways to get information, probing information. You want to find her genetics. You know what? Genetics play a big part. A lot of people oversee that. You know what your father and mother was? A lot can occur or come into that child, that next generation. Simple things, even diet. Find out. Let's say, for example, young man, you don't eat pork, but she eats pork. That might be a problem. Is she flexible to willing to listen to you, to really follow your lead, or a man's lead? Or does she believe I'm the boss in the relationship? Or it's 50-50? Or if y'all get married, she wants to keep her name, hyphenated. These are feministic mentalities. And if you are dating or getting to know a person, you should know that. And on the basics, don't spin that. And if she start flaring up with you and saying, oh, I need to be taken out to a 5-star restaurant, I can't, why are you taking me to Starbucks? Then you know what? She's questioning you, out the door. She's not for you. Because why? If you meet the first time and you're going out for the first time, she's supposed to be interested in you. You the star of the show. It's not about where you can take her. It's about getting to know you. Now, as time goes on, the next date, second, third date, then you up the ante when you find out you receive the questions that satisfy you, young men. Then from a Starbucks, I would say walk around the park, go to a museum, something that you don't even have to pay much. But then you maybe do a next thing. Go to you see a Nathan's hot dog spot. It depends of the season. Something a little bit more. You spend a little bit more, but you just feeling her out more because it takes time. And if she passed that test, then you going on a dinner date, so forth. But you got to judge it by her character. Her character is going to dictate how much you will invest with her. It's like business and getting a credit card. They increase the credit limit over time based on your payment history. Here on the dating scene, you increase your spending with her character. if her character matches yours. See, don't be a fool like a person like me. See, I've been there. I did a lot of slip-ups, and I was too fast with a lot of situations, and then you have to pay the price later. And let me tell you something, that can cost you. That could cost you your life, young men, by what you do now. So you better be real careful. But these are suggestions that I'm going to give you. So you have to gauge that. You know, you have to gauge that. And on the flip side, young ladies, you know, meeting a guy, you have to gauge his real intent for you. And you gotta check out his character from the start. When you're going out on a date, first of all, you know, you're open-minded, yes, but don't check out the small things about that young man. His character, what his overall goals are. Who's his parents? Is he a street guy? Do he have, what's his ambitions in the future towards education? You know, these are the things, young ladies, you got to look at. Not just because he's tall and curly hair, light-skinned eyes and cute. I mean, yes, I get it. We all physical. But that could be a trap. He could be nice looking, but he could be a serial killer. He could be a killer. He could be a killer. And now you in a situation, you know, he's going to be stalking you. What are you going to do then? You try to break up with this young man and you leave your building, he's in the bushes. You just see eyes. You go to a supermarket, try to shop, he's in the same aisle. Oh, I just came here, I had to get some groceries too. But he's really stalking you. Come on. And then if you sleep with him, and let's say he's turned out by that, everywhere you go, he's there. You might go to the club and he have a glass of water and white socks to his knees in a robe and say, "You my girl." I heard that before. But you don't want that type of dude, ladies. It's not a good look. You also need to know genetics. Guys, start looking at genetics. Google it. Genetics of a person have a lot to do of who they might become. Chances are, because you got to realize 2/3 of the genes is from their father. Oh, excuse me, 1/3 from the genes is father, 1/3 from mother, and then one makes that child. But you got to realize those genes extend 4 generations back. So that one child have the genes of the 4 parents. So you don't know. I know a lot of people can't go that far back with knowing who their grandparents 4 generations or 3 generations back, especially now because we so dysfunctional. You know, barely mothers and fathers, especially mothers that are single parents, they don't even know the father's daddy. They don't even know the father's barely last name. A lot of these females don't even know where the daddy resided. Who is the daddy? They don't even know. So a lot of times these teenage boys and girls don't have a clue about their history because mother don't even know. So, and that's prevalent within society. So that messes up the dating world as well. It's my personal opinion. So, I mean, these are some of the examples y'all guys really need to understand in the world of dating. Investments. See, I focus on the young men because they are the future leaders. So you have to know what your investment on that with that particular teenager or young woman. You have to, before you jump and sleeping with that woman, you better know. And I'm gonna say this to young men out here, especially now. Sleeping with young women out here is a dangerous situation without knowing her, because we see it every day. Sexual harassment and is running rampant. Is getting crazy, especially these women is making allegations of the R word. I'ma rhyme it with grape. Just to try to be a little friendly with the terminology. But with this grape era, these females are throwing allegations left and right. A lot of it is not true. Now, I get it. If it's true, then that person need to be persecuted, so forth, so on. But a lot of times, females just throwing things out there, just throwing it out there. He did this. I felt this. And this feministic movement that is out here, this Me Too movement, is making the game of dating is worsening it. Because young men, you better be very, very careful, because if you look at a female nowadays and staring at her and just, say, yo, you're so beautiful. She'll run tell the cops, I felt uncomfortable. And he stared at me. Now the cops is knocking on your door and saying she felt uncomfortable. Should try to find a situation that you maybe committed offense. And Lord knows if you just hug her now, she could say it was sexual assault. And then if it was a mutual understanding, but later on in months went down, months later, I should say, she turned right around and say, he raped me, or groped me. And being that, y'all hugged, she takes it to another level. Guess what? The cops is arresting you and charging you. Now you got to fight it out of court, or in court, excuse me. And that could ruin your life, hands down. And it could even be a domino effect, because from being a sex offender. I mean, it could just spiral to a very low point in life. Young men, it's not like back in the days there was no social media and you was able to do certain things without getting away with it. Going out to parties, and guys, if that woman is drunk, don't do it. I wouldn't, because she could turn around later and say that magical words. She was R'd. And just in case y'all guys don't know what the word R is, it rhymes, what I'm getting as rhymes with grape, okay? Grape for your slow ones. Now, see, you got to be very, very careful. The stakes are high. So you can't be wilding out like you used to, like the previous generations. All of these major events, all of these festivals, these massive parties, whether it's Brazil or Toronto or New York, these, caravanas and all of that stuff. That's even different. Years ago, you could see things, young men, trust me, you could see things, you could partake of certain things But you better not do that anymore. Because definitely you going to see the court system on the strength of that. And all the men that knows about those events, I'm just using that as an example, will understand me. And ladies too, you understand me as well. It's a different world. Young men, you got to guard yourself with your life. And here's another thing. If you about to, let's say things, you meet a female and it goes to that level where you want to be intimate, you better have, this is going to sound real crazy, but this is just my opinion, okay? For the young men out here, that what I feel they should do to guard themselves. My opinion, once again. Before you get to that intimate level, if in that room or a hotel or a house or whatever, wherever that might take place potentially, you should get consent from her. Since you got these smartphones, you might want to video chat her before the clothes. Don't video chat her with the clothes off now. Video chat while y'all sitting down, clothes on, and saying, yo, you know, I'm glad we here, and I'm glad we're going to have this moment. It sounds real lame and corny, and I know it's time consuming, but you get consent. That's where I'm at. However wording you want to put it out there, but make sure you're getting consent. Do video. Because I know many, many cases, females come back, ask Bill Cosby, ask R. Kelly, ask these other white dudes, these actors from Hollywood. These things could come right back to you. And I'm not saying they're guilty or not guilty. This is not a conversation talking about these men if they're guilty or not, okay? So let's not get simple. This is just a basic conversation in terms of getting proof that you consent on video. Not even writing no more, because she could just say, I was under duress. You know, he made me do it. Get a video. That will help clear any potential future legal situations. And then after the fact y'all had intercourse, through text, and just say, hey, I enjoyed the time with you. Did you enjoy yourself? I'm glad, you enjoyed yourself. Make sure she responds to that. And say, yeah, I agree. I had a great time. Because guess what? If that's left open, she could just say, yo, man, he forced his way and I wasn't comfortable, blah, blah, blah. And then you have the cops knocking on your door. And guess what? You might see time. You be labeled as an offender. You don't want that. Your young men, y'all better be very, very careful. Because I know a lot of men that got caught up on situations. I know. Trust me, I know. So, young men better be very, very careful. It's not, young men, it's not a game out here. That's why I said investing money, you better get to know that person on just not only genetically, because all of y'all guys just throw it out there. I can date whoever I want, wherever I want, any race, shape, color, creed, whatever. Genetics plays a part. And we're not going to say anybody is better than anyone. That's not that conversation. Genetics, because people are who they are. We are different people here. Giraffes is different from tigers. Tigers is different from elephants. Elephants is different from whales. We belong to the animal kingdom, but it's a difference. It's a mindset. You can't say certain things to a different group that you could say to another group. And that can get you in a bad situation in the dating world, because there's no understanding. There's different people here. So genetically, a lot of people omit that, don't talk about that. Everybody is me and free. You do whatever you want, meet whatever you want, and say whatever you want. Men, Pay attention to those things. Sit down and talk to that woman. Talk to that young girl on an intellectual level. And if she don't appreciate you for you on the basic dating meet and greet, then she's not for you. Okay, she's not for you already, and it's okay. No matter how big her breastises is and fat her buttocks is not for you. Don't do that.